House of Pain. This is a map I always kind of remember because it has the E1M8 music. It's the only other map in the game aside E4M1 that has it, and therefore it was never a map that I liked to play on because, you know, the music used to make me cry back then. It was just, again, it's sad sounding, but it also has a sense of dread, like, oh shit. Definitely covered that thoroughly back in episode 1 there. That's a thing I like to do, is if I damage an enemy, I believe enough so that it should die, and yet it doesn't. I always like to punch him or use the chainsaw or something. Just like to save ammo whenever I can. I get kind of weird like that. Like this guy. They usually die in 2 rockets, and he didn't, so I'm gonna pelt him with that a little bit. Yeah, and those 2 right there generally take 3, so I just pick them off with the chain gun. Oh, you mother... Okay, cool. I was about to say, he ran through there, and I hate when they do that, because that means they'll be waiting for me on the other side. Okay, we get the Berserk now. I can punch some people out. It's always fun, especially when they just die in 1. It's great. I'm just trying to time that properly. Because, you know, there's a way to time it, actually. If you... whether or not you take damage from a floor is synced up with the peak of your gun sway on the left or right. So if you time it so that your sway is like on you know, like the return before it gets to the other side, you won't take damage as long as you don't stay there too long. And that was kind of a funny thing I learned over time. Okay, so that'll come up. Grab that. That's cool. Now I can just berserk the hell out of people if I want to. Yeah, House of Pain. It was always funny because there's this rap band called House of Pain. My dad liked them, and it's just kind of funny how this came out like a year after, I think, their debut album, maybe. And it was called House of Pain. I don't know if it's a direct reference. I mean, maybe that's stretching it a little bit, but I wouldn't doubt that the guys that did probably did like them. Although they were more metal fans, and, you know, that definitely shows. But, yep, that's how it went. There was one video I always like to watch. It's called Visit to id, where someone went to id Software right before the release of Doom, roughly, like maybe November of '93, and basically watched John Romero play through the game. And, you know, Bobby Prince was there because he was working on the sounds and music, and it's just so fascinating to watch these guys who are working on this game, you know, get so excited over it. Because what it does is it reminds me of me, you know, when I was a kid, watching my dad play Doom for the first time, and are you fucking serious? Yeah. It figures I would catch that on camera. Although I have before. Okay, I forgot about these douches. I'm gonna go ahead and punch the Baron since I've got plenty of room to do so. Would you die already? Jerk. But yeah, watching that video, it just the sense of excitement that they have as they work on the game, it's incredible. It's contagious too, because it almost makes you want to go back in time and watch them make the games. Make me be the guy who's watching the video and like filming it and just being in their shoes, because they're so excited. They're talking about, you know, all the features the game is going to have, because I mean it was almost done at that point, but not quite. And it's just so incredible. It gives me this really strong sense of nostalgia, even though, you know, I wasn't actually there or anything, but it really reminds me of, you know, watching my dad play Doom, and also, you know, playing Doom 2 for the first time. Because it's just, I don't know. You have to go watch it. It's called A Visit to id. I don't know who uploaded it, but it should be pretty easy enough to find on YouTube. It's definitely worth a watch, because there's so much going on in it, and they show off a lot of features that would eventually become for real. Check this out. Yeah! First BFG usage in the whole game. It won't be the last either. Over the years, I've become a lot more fond of using the BFG to deal with situations I don't like, because it's just so quick and efficient. Because you really can save a lot of ammo if you use it just right. I generally like to use it on Barons just to take care of them. I'll go ahead and use it right here on this Baron when he comes out. Oh shit, okay, I forgot about these demons. They're gonna infight now. That's the only thing that sucks though, is waiting for it to fire and then running towards the Baron, so you ensure that it takes all of the tracers that it shoots out, because oftentimes that makes me take a hit to the face. Not gonna pick that up. Gonna wait and get that. But yeah, Visit the id. Great video. The thing that I think is the most amusing is that Bobby, who is by far the oldest there, is probably the most excited over the game. I mean, he is just like freaking out, like, oh man, he came blasting. I mean, he is just loving it. And it's funny to think that, you know, someone who's just working on the sound effects gets so excited, because I always think of like sound effects people as people who are, you know, they're just there to work on the game and get things done. I mean, I hate to generalize, but I just never see people like, you know, sounds and composer people just getting that excited over a game, but Bobby certainly does. I mean, he's just like, wow, he's like freaking at some points. And it's great. I love to see that kind of enthusiasm over games, especially with the team being so small back then. Everything felt a little more personal. You know, with games these days, you know, teams are huge. I mean, teams are just massive. Okay, I always forget how this works. It annoys the hell out of me. Okay, I want to get this, so I can punch people in the face, violently. But yeah, that kind of enthusiasm over games, I mean, I'm sure probably still does exist, but on a much smaller scale now, simply because, you know, the teams are so big. There's hundreds and hundreds of people to be managed, and it's just, it probably doesn't feel the same anymore. And if, you know, if, you know, someone who happens to be in the game development team watches this video, I mean, what the fuck am I thinking? But if there is, maybe you can clear that up a little bit, like, you know, how it feels to make a game anymore, because it definitely does feel a lot more, like, automated, like it's not as human as it used to be. And again, I'm kind of generalizing, and I am showing my age here a little bit. I'm not even that old, but I still am. I believe it. I mean, geez, I'm playing a game that's turning 20 years old. But that's just kind of how I feel about the whole thing. Okay, am I going to be able to jump down without taking any extra damage here? Okay, cool. Cool thing is I can still go back and get that soul sphere. Although I'm debating on whether or not it's worth it. I still have over 150 health. I guess I'll just grab the armor and be done. But that soul sphere is there. I mean, it is there alright. Okay, now the next map is another map that I kind of skimped on a little bit on my first LP, so we'll definitely expand upon that one a little more. Boom!